Hello friends, today I want to address an issue that has become a defining challenge of our times: stress and anxiety. Whether it's the demands of work, the unpredictability of life, or the weight of societal expectations, we all face moments when these emotions threaten to overwhelm us. But what if I told you there is an ancient philosophy rooted in the wisdom of over 2 millennia that can provide us with tools to navigate these challenges? That philosophy is Stoicism. Stoicism was founded in ancient Greece and later flourished in Rome through the teachings of great thinkers like Marcus Aurelius Seneca and Epictetus. Though their world was vastly different from ours, their insights into human nature, resilience, and inner peace are just as relevant today. Stoicism is not merely a set of abstract ideas, it is a practical guide to living well. At its heart, Stoicism teaches us how to focus on what we can control, let go of what we cannot, and live a life of virtue and tranquility. This approach is particularly powerful in managing stress and anxiety. Stress often stems from a sense of losing control when situations spiral beyond our influence, and we feel powerless to affect the outcome. Anxiety, on the other hand, is often tied to our fears: fear of failure, fear of judgment, or fear of the unknown. Both emotions can dominate our thoughts, leaving us stuck in cycles of worry and frustration. The Stoics, however, offer a path out of this maze by teaching us to distinguish between what is within our control and what is not. Epictetus famously said, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not." This simple yet profound idea is the cornerstone of Stoicism. It encourages us to direct our energy toward things we can influence, such as our actions, attitudes, and decisions, and to accept with grace the things we cannot, such as the actions of others, the past, or unforeseen events. Imagine how liberating it would be to release ourselves from the burden of trying to control the uncontrollable. This shift in perspective can dramatically reduce stress and create space for clarity and calm. One of the ways Stoicism helps us handle anxiety is through the practice of premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. This involves envisioning potential challenges or setbacks before they occur. While this might sound pessimistic, it is actually a way to prepare ourselves mentally and emotionally. By imagining what could go wrong, we not only reduce the element of surprise, but also strengthen our ability to respond with composure and resilience. For example, if you're worried about an important job interview, you might mentally rehearse how you would handle difficult questions or unexpected interruptions. This practice turns anxiety into preparedness. Another powerful Stoic principle is the concept of living in harmony with nature. To the Stoics, this means understanding and accepting the natural flow of life, including its unpredictability and imperfections. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This reminder to focus inward rather than outward helps us navigate stressful situations with greater equanimity. When we accept that life will have its share of difficulties, we stop resisting reality and start adapting to it. Gratitude is another cornerstone of Stoicism that can help us combat stress and anxiety. Seneca advised, "Begin at once to live and count each separate day as a separate life." This mindset encourages us to appreciate the present moment and the small joys it contains. When we focus on what we have rather than what we lack, we shift our attention away from worry and toward contentment. Gratitude grounds us, reminding us of the abundance in our lives even amidst challenges. In addition to gratitude, the Stoics emphasize the importance of perspective. They often use the technique of viewing their problems from a broader vantage point. Marcus Aurelius suggested imagining oneself looking down at the earth from above, seeing how small and fleeting our troubles really are in the grand scheme of things. This exercise can help us put our worries into perspective and approach them with a calmer, more rational mindset. Another practice that Stoicism offers is journaling. Many Stoics, including Marcus Aurelius, kept daily journals to reflect on their thoughts, actions, and emotions. Writing down our worries and analyzing them can help us gain clarity and identify patterns in our thinking. It's a way to externalize our concerns, making them feel less overwhelming and more manageable. Discipline also plays a central role in Stoicism. The Stoics believed that by mastering our impulses and desires, we could free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. For example, if we're prone to procrastination, we can train ourselves to take small, consistent actions toward our goals. This disciplined approach not only helps us achieve more, but also reduces the stress of unfinished tasks and looming deadlines. Moreover, Stoicism teaches us to embrace obstacles as opportunities for growth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This means that challenges are not just hurdles to overcome, they are also chances to strengthen our character and develop resilience. When we reframe difficulties as valuable lessons, we transform stress into motivation. Finally, Stoicism reminds us of the importance of aligning our actions with our values. When we live in accordance with our principles, we experience a sense of integrity and inner peace that shields us from external chaos. Acting with honesty, kindness, and courage not only benefits others but also fortifies our own sense of purpose and well-being. It's such a pleasure to be here with all of you today. I want to start by saying that in this fast-paced world, it's becoming increasingly difficult to find peace and tranquility within ourselves. Stress and anxiety have become a common part of daily life, affecting almost everyone regardless of age, background, or occupation. Whether it's the constant pressure of work, relationships, financial concerns, or the unpredictability of life itself, the weight of anxiety can often feel unbearable. But what if I told you that there's a time-tested philosophy that offers a way to navigate these turbulent waters with a sense of calm and clarity? A philosophy that has been practiced by some of the most resilient individuals in history. This philosophy is Stoicism. Stoicism is a school of thought that originated in ancient Greece, founded by the philosopher Zeno of Citium. But despite its roots in ancient times, Stoicism remains incredibly relevant today, especially in the face of modern-day stress and anxiety. Stoicism teaches us that our suffering is often a result of our own judgments, perceptions, and reactions to the external world. It helps us understand that we cannot control everything that happens to us, but we can control how we respond to it. In this speech, we will explore how Stoicism can be a powerful tool in helping us cope with stress and anxiety, and how it offers a practical and philosophical approach to living a more fulfilled and peaceful life. One of the core tenets of Stoicism is the idea of focusing on what we can control and accepting what we cannot. In life, there are countless situations beyond our control, whether it's a difficult boss, a personal loss, or the uncertainty of the future. These external circumstances are outside of our ability to influence. However, what we do have control over is our own thoughts, beliefs, and actions. Stress and anxiety often arise when we waste our energy worrying about things we cannot change. When we practice Stoicism, we learn to shift our focus away from these uncontrollable factors and instead invest our energy in what lies within our power, our response. Take a moment to think about a recent situation where you felt stressed or anxious. Perhaps it was a work deadline, an argument with a friend, or a personal struggle. In each of these instances, the root cause of your stress was likely your reaction to the situation, rather than the situation itself. Stoicism teaches us that by changing the way we interpret and respond to life's challenges, we can change the way we feel about them. In essence, our internal world is more important than our external world. By learning to control our thoughts and reactions, we can reduce the emotional impact of stress and anxiety. One of the Stoic exercises that can be particularly helpful in dealing with anxiety is the practice of negative visualization. This might sound counterintuitive at first, but bear with me. Negative visualization involves imagining the worst-case scenario in any given situation. For example, if you're anxious about an upcoming presentation at work, instead of constantly worrying about how it might go wrong, try to imagine the worst possible outcome. What if you completely messed up? What if people were disappointed or even upset? By vividly picturing these outcomes, you may find that they are not as catastrophic as you originally thought. This exercise helps you realize that even in the face of failure or disappointment, life will continue. You will survive and you will grow. Negative visualization also helps to diminish the fear of the unknown, which is often the primary source of anxiety. Another powerful Stoic practice that can help with stress and anxiety is the idea of mindfulness, or more specifically, living in accordance with nature. Stoicism encourages us to accept the natural flow of life, including its inevitable ups and downs. By aligning ourselves with the natural order of the universe, we can begin to let go of the need to control everything around us. This can be incredibly liberating, especially when we realize that not everything in life needs to be managed or fixed. Sometimes, simply allowing things to be as they are can bring us peace. In the same vein, Stoicism teaches us to cultivate gratitude. When we're caught up in anxiety and sighs, it's easy to focus on everything that's wrong in our lives. We start to magnify our problems, which only increases our sense of overwhelm. However, Stoics remind us to shift our focus to what we already have. Instead of complaining about what we lack or what's going wrong, we can start appreciating the things that are going well. This practice of gratitude is not only a way to improve our mental state, but it also helps us maintain perspective. No matter how difficult life becomes, there is always something to be thankful for. Let's also talk about one of the most important Stoic principles, the concept of virtue. In Stoicism, virtue is seen as the highest good, and it is through the pursuit of virtue that we find true peace and happiness. Virtue, according to Stoic philosophy, is the practice of living a life in harmony with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These virtues help guide us in our daily lives, providing a moral compass in times of difficulty. When we focus on cultivating these virtues, we begin to see stress and anxiety as opportunities for growth and development. Rather than seeing challenges as threats, we start to see them as chances to strengthen our character and build resilience. Now, you might be wondering how exactly we can apply these Stoic principles in our day-to-day lives, especially in moments of acute stress. One of the most effective ways to do this is through the practice of mindfulness and meditation. Taking a few moments each day to center yourself, to breathe deeply, and to reflect on your thoughts and feelings can work wonders in reducing anxiety. You can start by simply observing your thoughts without judgment, acknowledging any feelings of stress or anxiety, and reminding yourself that you have the power to choose how to respond. This mindfulness practice is not about eliminating stress, but about changing our relationship with it. In addition to mindfulness, journaling is another Stoic practice that can help us manage stress and anxiety. The Stoics were avid journalers, using writing as a way to reflect on their thoughts, actions, and emotions. By writing down our thoughts, we can gain clarity and insight into the sources of our anxiety. Journaling allows us to step back from our emotional reactions and examine them with a rational Stoic perspective. It's a way of giving ourselves the space to process our feelings and challenge any negative or unhelpful thoughts. By regularly engaging in this practice, we can develop greater emotional resilience and a deeper understanding of our inner world. Furthermore, Stoicism teaches us the importance of perspective. When faced with a stressful situation, it's easy to get caught up in a narrow, tunnel vision view of things. We often feel as though the problem is insurmountable, that it defines who we are, or that it will last forever. However, Stoicism reminds us that everything is temporary. "This too shall pass" is a phrase that encapsulates this principle perfectly. By reminding ourselves that our difficulties are only temporary, we can begin to detach from them emotionally. We can see them for what they truly are: temporary events that do not define our worth or happiness. Another essential Stoic idea is the concept of self-control. Stress and anxiety often arise when we feel like we've lost control over our lives. We feel overwhelmed by external circumstances, and we believe we have no power to change them. However, Stoicism teaches us that the only true control we have is over ourselves, our thoughts, reactions, and decisions. When we practice self-control, we begin to regain a sense of agency and calm. We understand that we may not be able to control what happens around us, but we can control how we respond. This shift in mindset can significantly reduce feelings of helplessness and anxiety. Finally, let's talk about one of the most profound lessons Stoicism has to offer: the idea of acceptance. Stoicism is not about avoiding pain or discomfort. It is about accepting that life will present us with challenges, and rather than fighting against them, we can learn to embrace them. When we accept that suffering is a natural part of life, we can stop resisting it and begin to find peace within it. We may not always have the power to change our circumstances, but we always have the power to change how we experience them. Through all of these practices, focusing on what we can control, embracing negative visualization, cultivating gratitude, living according to virtue, practicing mindfulness and journaling, gaining perspective, exercising self-control, and accepting life's challenges, we can learn to manage stress and anxiety in a way that leads to greater peace and resilience. Stoicism offers a path not to eliminate stress entirely, but to navigate it with grace and wisdom. By applying these ancient teachings to our modern lives, we can find a sense of inner calm amidst the chaos and develop the mental strength needed to face life's challenges with courage and clarity.